Ahoy! Today we're talking about Cyberpunk because something, in my opinion, pretty interesting and kind of entertaining happened. It has something to do with the new Hotfix 1.05, but I need to give some context quickly. So in case you've been living under a rock, Cyberpunk launched and it came with a lot of criticism, a lot of issues, especially on console with the performance not being up to standards, and also a lot of bugs that are even present in the PC version. CD Projekt Red, the developer, even encourages people to do refunds at the moment in case they're unhappy with the games, which has got them into pretty hot waters with Sony, who in return basically, because their return policy for games doesn't really correlate with that, effectively pulled the game from their own store and so on. But that's not the main topic here. You just need to know that the game is relatively buggy and has a lot of issues. CD Projekt Red has promised to fix exactly that over the coming month. And the hotfix that they're doing today is a small step in that direction, which comes with various fixes to buggy quests and other interactions, as well as fixes to certain crashes and so on. So just things that make the game run more stable on both PC and consoles. But outside of performance improvements that come from the Cyberpunk devs themselves, obviously some other people have tried to optimize the settings in ways that can improve the performance as well. And one of these methods that popped up became very popular on Reddit very quickly. This method consisted of going into the game files and modifying a file called memorypoolbudgets.csv. Within this file you would find some numbers about the utilization of RAM, CPU and GPU. And somebody figured, okay, these numbers seem to be too low, we can boost performance by putting these numbers higher, as then Cyberpunk will use more RAM and use the GPU fully and everything else as well. When they made that post, it came with a warning that this might destroy your game if you're not careful, and so on, the usual. But it also came with a bit of criticism towards CD Projekt Red for having these set so low in the first place, which seemed odd, since why would you not set a game up in a way where it would maximize the usage of all available tools, of all available hardware that the PC in question has. As a result of that, many people applied this fix, and they reported back that their frame rates had significantly improved and that performance felt significantly better. Enter patch 1.05. Here we have one very important note. Remove the memorypoolbudgets.csv file, which was not connected with the final version of the game and had no influence on it. It was a leftover file used during the development to estimate memory usage. It had no effect on how much memory was actually allocated. Perceived performance increase after editing the file may have been related to restarting the game. I tried the fix and I couldn't see any improvements at all, but I had also restarted my game before I even tried to change anything to see what my base FPS at that point were. And apparently a lot of the people who tried this fix didn't test that way. Maybe they had been running their PC for hours and the CPUs were basically overheating at that point, or there's a memory leak in Cyberpunk that we don't know yet of a smaller kind or something. But either way, it actually didn't improve anyone's FPS at all and was basically just a placebo, or at best an effect from restarting your game once. And still a ton of people reported improvements, and threads about this got upvoted very regularly. I thought that was pretty funny, and it gives us a lesson in perceived changes versus actual changes once again. And it's also good to know that the devs have acknowledged this, well, fix or not fix, at least have mentioned it and explained it as well to us. So much for improving performance that way. Outside of this and many other fixes, this patch also unfortunately removes the debug console, because it often led to players being stuck since they got items through that then blocked other quests where you would normally receive the item and so on. So that is something that CD Projekt Red temporarily removed here, but they also specifically stated this doesn't mean we don't want to support the modding community. Stay tuned for more info on that, so we'll hear more about that at a later point hopefully. I think so far CD Projekt Red are on a pretty good path with fixing the game, though I do not know how far they will actually get with the console changes. I feel like the old consoles will always have a relatively hard time running the game, even if it's fully optimized at its best. And that's it for today. If you're new to the channel, click the sub button and maybe the bell so you get notified of other upcoming Cyberpunk content. Currently working on a big video for Cyberpunk. It's gonna take a while to come out, so stay tuned for that. Other than that, I hope to see you for the next one soon. If you're here for a Smite video, there will be one of those later today. ZiSotto, out.